Hello, this is Grandmaster Henrik Danielsen from Patreksfjörður in Iceland. I just gave out my first book about the polar bear system. In this short video I would like to explain how it came about. In the 90s, the Dutch defense d4 f5 was quite popular. Many strong players played it. I also played it. And then I got the idea to play it as white. f2 to f4. That move is the bird opening, and it was invented by the English chess master Henry Bird in 1873. He liked after d5 to play b3 and then to fianchetto his bishop to b2 with a great diagonal. My intention was to play g2 to g3 and then to fianchetto my king side bishop to g2 with a kind of Leningrad mirror image. But the first problem was after knight f3 that black could play bishop g4, and it looked just like an equalizer. Black's plan is crystal clear. He wants to continue with knight d7, capture on f3 and then play e5 with an equal game. And if there's something we don't like as a polar bear system player, then it is a flat position. We like a potent game. So I had to come up with something against bishop g4. I played e3, and after knight d7, after some analysis, I found h3. Because earlier here in move 4, Ben Larsen had played bishop e2 against Petrosyan, and even though Ben Larsen won the game, then he never had any advantage in that game. So here, after bishop captures f3, doesn't make sense to move back, then queen captures f3. And if black doesn't want to gambit a pawn now with e5, then he has to protect d5. And he can do that either with c6, e6 or knight g to f6. I don't have space to go into too many details here. And now the idea was to continue with g4, because if e5, then we can answer g5, forcing black to e4. And now it's important that we move the queen back to e2, preventing the black knight on f6 to use the h5 square, forcing the knight back to g8 from where it has difficult to enter the game. Here it's possible to play queen b5, but somehow I like h4 better. And even though an author wrote that the position was equal, then I absolutely don't agree. I think white has clear advantage. He has more space on the king side. And don't forget the bishop pair. Bishop c1 will move up to b2 in Henry Bird style, having a great future on that diagonal, pointing down at g7. And the bishop on f1 will move up to h3. And those two bishops will then somehow create a crossfire towards the black position. Clear advantage for white. So the other idea after g4 was that if e6, then white could just continue d3 and e4 with a good center and an interesting game, a potent position. And then actually in 2000 or maybe 1999, I played in Schwerin, earlier East German town, beautiful town, against Luders, Thomas Luders, German grandmaster. And he played bishop b4 check here. It doesn't make much sense. It could also have played bishop d6, it comes to the same. But I answered c3, and after bishop d6 I moved forward in the center And after the exchange, I'm threatening e5. That's the reason why he answers with e5 himself. Then g5, forcing the knight back to g8, and then f5. And clearly white has more space here. Space advantage is of course a permanent advantage. Black has now difficulties in organizing his army. And I think actually that h6 here is a mistake. Okay, I answered it with h4, won later a good game, but when I later analyzed the game with a strong computer program, then I found out that queen h5 here is a killer. Meaning knight e7, then bishop c4 with a dire straight for black. Because g6 can be answered with bishop captures f7 check. Okay, this I will go into depth in book number 2. So it seemed that I found a solution against bishop g4. Actually in 2000, under the Danish championship, I met Ben Larsen, and he told me that he liked this Luther game and that it opened up for the bird opening. Again, meaning he gave up on the bird because of 2 bishop g4. Okay, then some players are afraid of, say, the Fromsgambit after f4, e5. And as a polar bear system player, then we don't run away from a challenge. We capture. And also, next time we capture. After bishop captures d6 and knight f3, I think white has a good position. I think black has only one good move, and that's knight f6. Because after other moves, say bishop g4, which is too slow in my opinion, white has an advantage, and also knight c6 white have an advantage. g5 is most popular, but I don't believe in that move. All this I will write about in book number 2. Knight f6, already here white has 4 good moves. Okay, less good is probably d4. It's playable, but I think black has compensation because of the weak e file. What is important for black is that he has a quick knight f6 to g4 to create pressure on the king side and get contra. But after knight f6, I think white has also c3, but also e3, and not to forget g3. All give him a good position. Just to let you know. So what is the idea with the polar bear system? Let's just go a bit further. Maybe we could enter the main line of the polar bear system. And here I think the best plan for white is simply to play e4. Gain space in the center and having a good e4 position if you want. What is black's plan? Yeah, he could try to create a bind with d5, d4, a move like here. Or he could also play rook e8 and then with the plan to play e5 and start to put pressure on our backward pawn on e2. You see, that pawn is actually our trouble child at the moment. He's just like a bad apple in the back, destroying all the other apples. One bad backward pawn can destroy the whole position. So we want to get rid of that pawn, either by moving him up to e4, making him strong, or by exchanging him. Another trouble child in our position is actually bishop c1. It's often difficult to find a good job for him because of the move f4. It has blocked for its diagonal. And the last thing we have to take care of is the diagonal a7 g1, because it has been weakened. Often some tactics can show up, and that's what we have to be careful about. But when this is said, if we know what the problems are, then we can manage them easy. And actually, the funny thing is that after d4, trying to create a bind, and we break it immediately, we never allow that bind, then we have a good King's Indian position. We are ready to play knight c4 with a good and strong center. If black captures en passant, capture while passing, and we capture back on e3, then we see one of the differences compared to playing the Leningrad with black. White is a move up, knight a3 is already done, so white has an initiative because of better development. And already he's attacking the pawn on c5. And it's not good for black to play, say, knight f6 to d7 to protect the pawn. And it's not good to protect it with the queen either. Queen d6, then we would have a free move with knight c4. So he has to protect it with b6. And now the point. Knight e5. Attacking the knight, forcing the knight to capture on e5. Then we capture back with the f pawn. We don't capture the rook on a8. Been there, done it, and there's no reason to go further into it. If you need to investigate, then do. F captures e5, forcing the knight to block the diagonal g2 a8 with knight d5. And then the new move, strong new move, is bishop f2. Okay, it's not so new anymore, but it was new at that time. Then bishop captures e5, and the point is then d4, because black has problems with his knight on d5, it is pinned, and white is better. So you see, with one tempo more, then often we get the initiative and are able to attack. If this little example here gave you a small aha experience, then I would just tell you that there is much more to experience in my new book about the polar bear system. The polar bear system is a strong and dangerous opening.